New year, more segments. Good morning from the Lost Creek Wilderness. Today going to be starting segment 4 of the Colorado Trail. For a full hike review and more information about segment 4 of the Colorado Trail, you can check the link in the description below. So if you've been following along, my wife and I are going to be segmenting the CT, and excited to get back after it this year. So the plan for this weekend is to hike segments 4 and 5. Segment 4 today is about 16.6 miles and just about 3,000 feet of elevation gain over that. It's 5:30 a.m. and clearly it's not crowded at all from the amount of cars here. So gonna be a bit busy. Camping spots might be tricky to find, but yeah, excited for the day. So I'm gonna break up segment 4 and 5 into 2 videos. So you can check the description below for both. And you can also check the description below for the entire playlist of the previous 3 and any we tackle after making this video. Goal for today is to knock out segment 4 and a little bit into segment 5, as the weather for tomorrow is looking pretty nasty, even though it's late May here. If you're through hiking or segment hiking the Colorado Trail, you're gonna wanna wait until around Memorial Day to hit segments 4 and 5. The snow level up here is really deceptive. Even in the area, if it looks like it's all melted out, you're gonna be going north of 10,000 feet, and the north-facing slopes will hold snow for a while. About a quarter mile in, you're gonna head right, and you'll see your first CT marker, which is right here. About 1.8 miles into the hike, you're going to enter the wilderness here, which means no bikes, no motorized vehicles, i.e. drones. Summarize the trail to this point. Starts off pretty steep, and then right around 1.5 it starts to level off a bit. But in terms of climbing, your next big chunk is going to be from this point to about 7 miles. It's your steepest climb of the day, and you still have more after then, but this is by far the steepest climb of the day on segment 4. Just about 2.5 miles in, there's a pretty solid camping area here on your right.
We're at about 4.5 miles, and this is the first good water source of the day, a little stream here. Right after the stream, got a nice little climb here, about 800 feet in the next 3 miles or so.
Just about 6 miles into segment 4 of the Colorado Trail. So far I gained about 2,000 feet of elevation. Right now, just above 10,200 feet. So since the last time I checked in, we've exited the 4-wheel drive looking road and entered into a much more foresty trail. In addition, we've been climbing quite a bit of elevation, and from here it's going to settle down a bit, and then we're going to gain another 600 feet in the remaining 8 miles or so of hiking. Oh, the joys of down trees. Nothing like army crawling. .4 miles in, and you're going to rejoin this old logging road that we were on earlier today. And from this point, your elevation is going to be flat for a bit, and then a steady climb to about 10,900 feet, and then to mile 14, and then you're going to, from there, go down a little bit for the last couple of miles to end segment 4.
Mile 8, leaving the Lost Creek Wilderness.
This field is very pretty. It's definitely the best views we've had all day on segment 4 of the Colorado Trail. And you better get used to this field because you are in it for a number of miles. And it's gonna be pretty steady, slow elevation gain. So we're just about a little over 8 miles in, and you're gonna be in this field for a while. So soak in these views and put on the sun gear because it's no reprieve from the sun for a while. At this point of the hike, you're going to be joining the Brookside Mccurdy trail, and it's just going to continue up this big field to the left here. There is a little brook or creek just about 100 yards or so that way that will basically follow this portion of the trail up to about 14 miles. So if you do need water, it's a pretty reliable source. Just about 8 miles in and continuing in the field. After what seems like an eternity, but it's really only 5 miles, you are finally going to exit this field right around 10,900 feet and 14.5 miles. And then from here you got 2 miles of downhill, and you're going to lose about 1,000 feet of elevation to end segment 4 here. Just a couple quick notes about that large field. So as I mentioned in the beginning, pretty consistent sources of water. If you didn't snag it towards the back half, there is a good source of water right at the end of segment 4, so mile 16.6. In terms of camping, you're probably going to see some people car camping along the first bit of it, but if you're looking for camping spots, there's really a ton of them on the right hand side, the forest side of that field, so you really don't have to worry about it. If you do wait until like the latter half, you're going to want to finish up the field, and then there'll be more camping spots before you hit this downhill here. But once you're on this downhill, it's a pretty consistent slope, so going to be harder to find level ground here. Beautiful views, finally. The descent so far has consisted of pretty wide, low-grade, mellow switchbacks. So not a terrible way to end the day if your legs are not feeling too hot. Segment 4 of the Colorado Trail was, I would say, a moderate hike, definitely a long day hike. It's gonna take us about 8 hours, and it's about 3,000 feet of elevation gain. So, you know, the hike, I could break it up into 3 sections basically. You got the uphill climb at the beginning, which is, you know, pretty tough if you're not used to it. And then you got the long meadows, slight uphill, flattish section, and then finally the descent here to end segment 4. But definitely the most secluded, definitely one of the prettiest, I would say, as well. The meadow is beautiful. It does get a bit old after a while when you feel like you're just looking at the same thing over and over, but hey, you really can't complain about that. We're actually not going to go to the Long Gulch trailhead because we don't need to, so we can just stay on the trail here and keep moving forward. So I'm going to wrap up segment 4 of the Colorado Trail pretty much to the book. I mean, that's why it's there. So I'll link the book that I recommend for this in the description below. But yeah, an enjoyable hike overall. Like I said, definitely a doable day hike. And I'll have more information about both trailheads because Long Gulch is a little bit trickier to get to if you don't have a 4-wheel drive car. We're going to be entering segment 5 is just over this way, and you can watch the next video to continue my journey with Jackie and Juno along the Colorado Trail. So for a full hike review of Colorado Trail segment number 4, you can go ahead and check the description below. I'll have more information about everything you need to know, camping spots, water, and all that fun stuff. If you're new to my channel, I do virtual trail guides, hike information, gear, reviews, so please hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. As always, we'll see you on the next adventure. Four down.